Okay, hi guys, welcome to the show. About to go and pick up little rascals. Oh my god, it's hot. I can't wait for autumn. There he is. Oh, guarda chi è. Ah, bello, you miss me. Piccolo imperatore. Andiamo, dai. Get that stretch in, that's right. Okay, there we go.
Che smani, che freve, sta giacca e sto segno rossette, soltanto una notte, sapesse che...
Join us at the park. I'm here with my best buddy. You just want to lie down, huh? Just want to lie down. Look at this little chap. Look at this little chap. Anyway, it is absolutely boiling hot. You can see the Manhattan in the background. I apologize if there's wind. Nothing I can do about it. Anyway, can't wait till autumn. It's humid, it's sticky, it's hot, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy with to be here with my best mate. What do you say? Wristwatch check. Got the little day date on. Considering we did a video just about it, watches attract the opposite sex. This is my problem. This is the little lady killer. The watch that gets the most compliments. So I thought I'd wear it. Oh, and by the way, I'll do a Walkman check. MP3 check. Wagner, of course. I mean, beautiful day like this. I mean, actually, it's kind of it's sticky, but the sun is not out, so it's not as hot. So Wagner with my little friend here. Oh, look. Oh, I bet. Wagner with my little friend here, and a nice view to enjoy. What can be better? Anyway, so I'm gonna have a bit more of a run around with the little rascal here. What are you saying, boy? Yeah, it's hot. I mean, it's not saying much because it's hot. Autumn is my favorite time of year. September, I love September. Gonna be going to the city a lot more. Gonna go galleries, museums, a bit more traveling up the East Coast. I think is badly needed. Might take a little vacation, but yeah, everything is fantastic. Just happy to be here, breathing healthy with my best friend. I mean, what can be better than this? And also that little Zin, it's liquid filled, and I think NV quite rightly said you have to send it back to Germany for servicing, so that's kind of delaying my... Oh, also I gotta save up for the money, so there's a lot to consider. What else am I considering right now? Quite a few Citizens that are kind of like those fun aviation watches. I wouldn't mind getting one of those. Really feeling the German watches at the moment. What else? The Tudors. I mean, is it wrong to get another Tudor? I love this little piece. I'm thinking that was a fantastic little Prince date. I totally don't need it, but on eBay. I mean, can you have enough Tudors? I mean, they're such good value, and I want to snap them up before the price shoots up, because they're going to get so difficult to find a good, you know, one that hasn't been polished to death. I'm sorry about the noise. Let's go for a little run around with the little rascal. Okay guys, and you join me here. Just opposite Rainy Park is the Noguchi Museum, which is a fantastic art gallery full of Noguchi's work, and a really cool garden full of the sculptures. It's absolutely stunning. Free on Fridays, I think. Anyway, I'll probably come back for a future video, but just one of the cultural highlights of my neighborhood. Talking of Japanese perfection, let's have a closer look at Seiko, one of my favorite brands, and why I could never have a collection without a Seiko in it. Today we are going to be discussing one of my most favorite brands of all time, one of the most influential and important brands in watches, and that is of course Seiko. Now, I reviewed all of the watches featured in this particular video individually, Some of them I've even jeweled with other watches. So if you want to find out more, have a look back in the archives. I've done reviews and even a few follow-ups on some of these timepieces. Seiko, obviously one of the most iconic Japanese brands of all time. It was actually founded all the way back in 1881 in Tokyo, of course. The actual word Seiko means, translates as exquisite. Seiko, the word, comes from Seiko Sha, which means roughly translated house of exquisite workmanship, which is just so fitting for this brand. Now, originally they were clockmakers. Obviously they diversified and got into wristwatches as they became popular in early 20th century. Seiko is an extremely important brand for me, important for many reasons. First of all, it's one of the first wristwatches I ever owned. I owned my father's one, which is actually quite similar to the SubZero 33, which you see here. But we'll get into that in just a moment. For many people that get into watches, it's their first actual watch, and you'll see Seikos pop up in all kinds of different collections. You'll see collections with high-end stuff, and then you'll see a little Seiko in the corner. It's just got that kind of wide appreciation and respect from all levels of connoisseurs, and for many people it's their first watch too. Most importantly, and this is why I've got these four together today, these are my current 4 Seiko watches that I have in my collection. I've brought them together for a very specific reason, because it demonstrates the versatility of this brand. In my personal opinion, I don't think there is a brand as versatile as Seiko. And what I mean by that is that they not only do every genre watch. So here we see a diver, we see a racing chronograph, we see an aviation piece and a dress watch. Not only do they cover all genres, but they also cover all price ranges. Recently I reviewed a beautiful, stunning Grand Seiko, the Snowflake, and it blew my mind. And that kind of brings me on to the second point about their versatility, and that is that technically speaking, they are some of the most innovative and technologically advanced watches in the world. They really push the limits of timekeeping. The Spring Drive and the Grand Seikos are proof of this. Some of the most accurate watches, if not the most accurate wristwatches, with the exception of quartz, of course, which is another great Seiko. Well, depends on how you look at it, but it is incredible leap technologically, and literally brought the whole, almost the entire Swiss industry to its knees back in the 70s when quartz was first introduced. Their achievements are really phenomenal, and there are very few brands that have achieved as much and have affected watchmaking and the history of horology as Seiko. And that really goes back to that core key meaning of the word, of their name, Seiko, that obsession, that very typical Japanese obsession with perfection and mastery and craftsmanship. But not only that, Seiko have become part of pop culture. They have an incredible movie heritage. Everything from, and one of the most prime examples is right before you. In fact, actually 2 of them. This is the Seiko Ripley, the Giugiaro, the famous racing watch that was designed by the Italian car designer Giugiaro, and then was cast in the film Aliens. James Cameron is a big watch fan, and it really captures and embodied the aesthetic of the entire film. It was a brilliant bit of watch casting. Now, it is a divisive one. Not everybody, I mean, when I did the unboxing and the review of this particular piece, this is a quartz. Obviously we have very racing inspired dial. It looks straight off the dashboard of an 80s racing car, but it's very divisive in nature. A lot of people just think it's absolutely hideous, and I can totally understand, but for me, growing up predominantly in the late 80s and into the 90s, this is just a bit of a dream come true for me to own this. In fact, I almost sold it, but then thankfully I decided against it. So there you go. It's a very limited edition, and this is proof that even an entry-level piece like this, which is just 3,000 of these worldwide released, this is definitely going to go up in value. In fact, it's already gone up in value about 20-30%, even more so probably by the time you're watching this, by the way, this is 2016 summer, so by the time you're watching this, it's probably gone up even more. But this is a prime example of their kind of how they become iconic in cinema as well. Even in James Bond, Roger Moore, from about 1977 to 1985, he wore a Seiko in quite a few of the Bond films. Sean Connery as well, I think in Never Say Never Again. Martin Sheen famously wore one in the 1979 classic Apocalypse Now. Arnold Schwarzenegger, probably one of the most famous examples in Commando, and of course Predator. And all the way up until the present day, not only traditional cinema but also animation as well. I believe they came out with a special Seiko for the Final Fantasy computer games and Metal Gear Solid. So its influence on pop culture and the mainstream can be seen all over the place. Very few brands have, and this is not even without endorsement. I mean, this is just, you know, these things just happened. But of course, if we're talking endorsements, they've also been the official timekeeper for many Olympic Games, all the way back to the 60s. Several FIFA World Cups, I think about 4 FIFA World Cups. So they have an incredible history, everything from cinema to sporting. But my dream really is to go to Japan, and hopefully one day I'll take the camera with me and we'll go to Japan, and I'd really want to see the Seiko factory. And of course there's a museum in Tokyo as well. I would just adore that. Japan is definitely on my bucket list for a whole load of reasons. In fact, I collect traditional Japanese art pieces. I'll put some on the screen. I do own a few woodblock prints from the early part of 20th century. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. I also am a big fan of their cinema, from Kurosawa to Takashi. I mean, the list is endless. Their music, even their literature, obviously translated. Culturally, it's a place of interest for me, and I just can't wait to discover it. So, in front of you, we have some examples of some really great Seikos, my personal favorite 4, and I want to add a 5th one, and that 5th one, I vowed to myself. In fact, I was talking to a good friend of mine just the other day, and I'd really like to get a Grand Seiko one day, but I would like to buy it in Japan from the factory. While I don't have the high-end Seiko in front of you, I have reviewed them. I've had quite a bit of experience with them now, and they are incredible. The Snowflake Grand Seiko I reviewed was phenomenal. It was just on another level. I've never seen such exquisite quality. Exquisite, there you go, there's that word. But if you're just starting out to collect, or you're a seasoned collector, and this is the great thing about Seiko, is that even if you are, have 20 high-end pieces, and you want to add something affordable to get a little bit more fun, enjoyment, or as a beta watch, doesn't matter if you got 5-10 grand to spend, or just $200, you can get something that will last you a lifetime, can hand down to your kids, that you can be proud of, that will sit aside any watch in any collection and hold its own. Obviously, we'll start off with the little Saab here. This is the Saab 033, and this really demonstrates what amazing quality you can get for a reasonable amount of money. This is actually a JDM, a Japanese domestic model, not traditionally offered overseas. It was a bit of a kind of well-kept secret, but it has actually become one of the most popular watches on my channel since I reviewed it almost 2 years ago now. And you get a lot of the kind of mid-range upgrades like sapphire glass. Inside we have the 6R15C movement. This is a phenomenal movement. It has incredible power reserve, about 50 plus hours. It's a true workhorse. It's robust, it's extremely reliable. Actually, for the money, I mean, we're talking about $400 here. It performs impeccably well. The quality you get, sometimes this is jokingly referred to as a baby Grand Seiko. Obviously doesn't have the movement, it's just got a more affordable movement inside. The detail, those applied markers, applied logo, the finishing of it is just phenomenal. Diameter is a 38, and it just wears so well for so many wrists. If I just compare it to my little Tudor Day Date there, which is a 35, extremely versatile. If you only had to own one watch, this would probably suit all occasions. Even looks good on a native strap. But the secret is out now in the Sub range, and you know, people like Long Island watches, a whole load of online vendors are starting to get them in, so you can get them internationally. It's a shame that the Japanese, they do tend to keep the better stuff for themselves. This is just proof that you can spend $300–400 and get a watch that of phenomenal quality, will last you with sapphire glass and a respectable movement. Talking of movements, that's another thing we should mention about Seiko, is that everything is in the house. They do everything themselves. They even have their own proprietary glass, which is, as we see here, which is the Hardlex. This is the Flighty. This is a totally different, or I shouldn't say Flighty, this is the Flightmaster SNA41. This is a 40mm aviation watch, around $200. It's one of my favorite beater watches. Just undo the screw down pushes. It's a quartz. The actual movement has a little bit of a mechanical module added to it to give that sweep to the chronograph. It's not the most smoothest, but it's a nice little touch, and kind of gives the impression it has a little bit more soul, like a mechanical piece, rather than the quartz that it really is. Stunning dial, very functional, thin, extremely robust. $200, phenomenal what you get. 200 meters water resistance, little sub dial there. You can have a different time zone or alarm, and you also get a split time chronograph, which is just phenomenal. You know, it's got a proven quartz movement. I apologize about the dirt, I have worn the hell out of this. That's the 7T62 movement. It's been going since the 80s. Extremely reliable, extremely accurate, and for $200 you really can't argue. The last watch from my little Seiko mini collection is, of course, this is the hugely iconic Seiko SKX 009. I've done countless videos about this watch. It was one of the first divers I actually ever owned. I've rebought this watch so many times. This is the final one. I've made a vow that I'm keeping this forever, and I will keep this forever. At the moment I've got it on this nice mesh for the summer. This is the Japanese domestic version, which you can tell by the, well, I've done a whole video on comparing them, but it has that little extra 21 joules sign there, so that's the fastest way you can tell. This has the 7S26 movement, day-date complication. Apparently they're out of production now, and the price is slowly going up. It's not the perfect watch, you know, it's got this rather tinny sounding bezel. Also, it takes a while to change the day in the date at night time. It's not super accurate, although you can regulate it, and some of these have been known to be quite accurate. But it's become iconic. In fact, in the 2013 film, Robert Redford famously wore it in All Is Lost. Incredible movie. I get emails every single day from people saying they bought their first watch and it was an SKX and they're over the moon. Sometimes there are quality control issues with them. At the end of the day, guys, you know, this is a $200 watch. You can't expect Rolex quality for $200. But the great thing is these are incredibly affordable to repair, maintain. The SKX has the added advantage of being almost infinitely moddable. There are so many really cool mods out there for it. You can change literally every part of it in any way you want, and there are some crazy mods out there. Just have a look. If you type in SKX mod into Google, you'll see it, and you'll see countless examples. So very, very fun to do. So don't worry if, you know, the chapter ring doesn't line up. These are very easy and affordable to change. But generally, of all the SKX, I've probably owned 3 or 4 of them now, including the little the mid-size version, which I can't remember the reference. I think it's SKX 013. I might be wrong about that, but please correct me if I'm wrong. And I love the mid-size version, and I stupidly sold it because they're really hard to get now, and it was a Japanese domestic version too. But anyway, I should have kept it. Oh well. I have this one now, and I'm over the moon with it. It's fun. They do cut corners with the bracelets and the cheap rubber bands, but when you got a nice mesh on it, even a Nate or a really high quality rubber strap, it's amazing. You really get an extra you take the watch to a whole new level. Having said that, the Jubilee that it does come with, a lot of people hate it. I kind of like it. It has that Proustian Madeleine moment. It reminds me of my youth and countless adventures I've had with my Seikos as a teen, really. Obviously, we don't have the upgrades of the Saab with hacking and hackable and all the rest of it. There is a lot of talk that this is going to be replaced. Some people say it's been replaced with the new Turtle. I disagree. Judging on how Seiko run their business, they really are silent and about what's coming next, and they just drop a watch. They almost have a kind of KGB-like ability to keep silent. I have a feeling there's a new SKX on the way, or at least they're working on it or something. I just don't buy it that the Turtle is its successor. I really don't. To me, the Turtle and this are two very different feeling watches. Anyway, the great thing is, even though it's a 42mm size, it wears much smaller, and it's quite comfortable even for my skinny wrist. But anyway, I've done a ton of videos about this. Have a look back. Oh, and also the loom is pretty amazing. And divers, it's ISO certified, and divers from all over the world swear by these things. Not only do Seiko being worn by actors, but in real life scenarios, they deliver as well. So it was really just another cool thing to add to the list. Anyway, I have included this little strap, which is a genuine crocodile strap from Swiss Tech, or Tech Swiss or something. I bought off eBay. I have no idea how this is, so it's just arrived, and I wanted to just show you what you can achieve. We're talking about $50–$60 strap. Put it on a Saab. My God, look at that. Goes back to the video I did just the other day. Pure class. I can't wait to wear the Saab on this strap. Just so elegant. That black, this classic design just goes with anything. So I'm excited to do that. And that's a great thing about these watches is you can spend a couple $100, buy a few straps, and you can get so much fun and enjoyment out of them. And that's what I love about Seiko at the end of the day. There's a Seiko out there for everyone. There really is. Okay, you may not like the Giugiaro, the Ripley watch. You may not like the Saab. You may absolutely love the SKX and want something rugged. Or you want something very, very formal and traditional. Seiko offer it all. I don't think, and I genuinely say this, I don't think there is another brand with as much variety in terms of the sheer amount of watches they offer, the spectrum of choice you get with Seiko. Just look at how different these two watches are. And it's the same company. It's amazing. It really is amazing. These aren't even the most extreme examples. There are some phenomenal Seikos out there, especially ones that have been, in science fiction films and all the rest of it. The Munster is another incredible example. Where did that design come from? These are also so unique. Obviously, you can see styling cues of like the Navitimer a little bit in this, but this really stands on its own. And the same with the SKX. No one can accuse it of trying to copy a Submariner. If anything, they kind of borrow from themselves. And this is probably the most original watch I have, and definitely my wild card in my collection. It's just so wacky and always brings a smile to my face. But anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts on Seiko. Please nominate your favorite Seiko watches down in the comments. I'd love to hear what Seiko watches you like and enjoy. I was contemplating scaling down my collection, and I realized, well, gosh, I've got 4 Seikos. Do I really need 4 Seikos? And then I look at them together and I think, well, I just adore them and love them all. I can't do away with any of them because they're so different. You could almost build a collection with just Seikos. If I had a Grand Seiko here, it would be a collection within a collection. It would be perfect. So it's a difficult one. If I had to choose out of these 4, my gosh, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one. I'm just so enamored with all of them. I really am. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Let's take it back to the outro. Okay, welcome back, guys. Now, just dropped a little Ernest off, and just thought I'd say thank you very, very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video. You can hear the neighbors though. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful. It really does help me, so don't forget to add that like. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Okay. ciao.